Live. Recording in progress. Got it. Censorship available. Studio audience admitted.
Babylon B.
Man,
Babylon B censored.
Babylon B said, like, no comedy. Sorry.
No comedy, no satire. Because satire
man,
is
one
really...
of the great compliments I was ever served in my life. Moving into the hog pit late in my career in Chicago on the floor. And I was in there with my brother, who's a particularly sarcastic, kindly would be said on the floor, SOB. And we work particularly well together in the sarcasm and humor department. And this guy comes up to us after we've been in there for a couple of months, and he said, "Hey, you guys got to leave. I don't want you in the hogs anymore." And we're like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "I used to be the funny guy in this pit. I don't need any competition from you two yokes. Get out of here." Oh, good to be. Man, I don't know what the news is, but for sure they just spanked this market.
Strange
we're going to talk about
strange morning. We had a buy right off the open. We had a sell right off the open, and then we had a buy, and then we had a sell. So there we are. You got that? That's a whipsaw day right there.
Yeah, there for sure are some people saying, "What the fuck is going on? God damn it!"
I mean, let me just go to the tape here so you can see that it's.
Lee says Lemons is speaking now. Don Lemon.
Lemons.
Who's Lemons?
Liz Lemon from 30 Rock.
I mean, look at that open 14 to 467.
It spiked up to a new high, took out Friday's crazy high, and then they threw them over, puked them. There was no buyers left, and hammered it down 200. But then they held, again, just looking at a 2-day chart, kind of held at this little level here. Now we're going to go test that again. If 14.2 goes, Bob, we're going to go to 14.1 somewhere in here. There's some holes in here. So it's the Super Bowl action this morning, and it's down, which is what I thought it would do, and it did. And then it gave you another chance to resell with a backstop against the old high. So that was good. And, we've got the bonds puking again, new low. As a matter of fact, I think the high, or rather the low of the year, was just hit right before we came on. So, this is like, telling times. And to your point, and oil's back up. We hit 110 already this morning, right about 110. I'm trying to bring up the bonds as we speak. And the bonds are, they hit 150. What was the low here? 150.07, which, by the way, I believe is a new year low. And indeed, we took out that 150.12. So, full round trip. Friday, we did not close below 152 again, though. So we have a whole week.
Right, exactly. There's been kick save after kick save. Lee said it's Powell is talking. He must be reeling back his dovishness. The key there is like where's the meter on the Fed balance sheet and the taper tantrum that is on the way if they do in fact stop expanding the balance sheet.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I was critiqued, and I was told I'm too in your face and people don't like it. All right. And I just want to pledge to you that I'm going to continue to be even more in your face because the world is full of shit. And listen, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. Network news. Let's go, man. Let me share something this was a blast from the past. The Manja TV kitchen. Matt, and we got going here. That was a ham. I got a great story about this ham bone. I bought an actual leg of pork.
You have stories. I brined it. You have stories of an actual ham bone. I can't wait.
I brined it to make my own homemade ham. My problem is I didn't brine it long enough, so it was ham on the outside and pork roast on the inside.
Right.
But then I got this giant bone. I want to make split pea soup. Like the only way to get through that leg is with a Sawzall. I'm a big advocate of power tools in the kitchen. Let's make that trend. Look at that. Now it goes right into the Le Creuset. I got to work it a little bit and get that tendon. It's pissing me off right here. I can't get it. And the film is like, finally, bong. Anyway, power tools in the kitchen. Huge fan I am. Man, and that made me think like we always are looking for segues, right? Give me something to talk about.
Mhm.
And if we're going to make power tools trend, then we got to know who the power tool companies are. This was shared by Clint DeBauer, an amazing amount of consolidation in tool brands. Anyway, Matt, let's bring up a chart. We got Stanley, Black & Decker, right? And then who else do we got? TTI that owns Milwaukee, which I was using there, by the way, a Milwaukee Sawzall.
Right.
Let's go. Let's talk price discovery around power.
Remind me of the Black & Decker symbol. We did not talk about it. I don't recall.
Yeah. It's SWK.
Oh, that's Black & Decker? Stanley? Is Black & Decker?
Stanley Black & Decker, yeah.
Oh,
Stanley.
okay. We did talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not Tim the tool guy. Tim Allen.
Western Michigan University, Tim Allen.
Yeah, he's from Detroit. We all know. He's great. He, make America great again. Tim Allen. And are you seeing my chart right now? Or
I am not.
Okay. Hold on. I thought I clicked a button, not that button. Yeah, Stanley's fully right-sided. It peaked, as you would expect, the spring of last year after a huge run from the bottom there. Again, the COVID bottom, 73 bagger, which is crazy for this company. So you tripled your market cap, probably was up there. Now that it's sold off $100, which is what, 40%? Not quite 30, I guess 30, 40, yeah, 45%. So we're fully right-sided, Bob, and any rallies you get, again, these are down big today. So I wouldn't be surprised if some analysts downgraded these guys further again today, pushing them down. And, the bad thing is we're even below the high pre-COVID on stocks like this. And this is what you're going to see. We keep talking about this, that pre-COVID level is just your first level.
Yeah, right? I mean, if you think about the fundamentals of it, like who's going to go buy a new Stanley Black & Decker when they just spent $40 or $50 more to fill their tank of gas?
Correct.
I mean, just like credit cards that we talked about on Friday, as you get squeezed.
I mean, I talked to some people that drove, from here in Bend to, Jackson Hole area yesterday, and they saw in Idaho, which I didn't know, that you'd see gas, but probably in the remote areas, they saw $5.90 a gallon. That's not California, that's Idaho. So, but again, you're kind of out there remotely, so you're going to pay up in those areas for sure, just getting gas. So, man, it's got to be hitting, Bob. I mean, it's going to be hitting sooner than later. Powell was out talking, as Lee said this morning. Who knows? I'm so sick of the talking head game.
Well, and amazingly too, I'll bring up another tweet here in a little bit on. It's so hard to predict the future in this environment because so many things are disconnected. Like
That's
nothing
right.
makes sense.
Yeah, no, and I think
oil's up 6%, bonds are down 1.5%, and the stock market has a rip-faced rally.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it's down 0.5%, the NASDAQ right now, whoop-de-whoop. After a 12% rally from last Tuesday to today, 11.7% from last Tuesday morning to the Monday morning open. Not even a full week, we're up 12% in the NASDAQ.
Nothing to see here, move along. All right, Matt, the other one in this was TTI. I think this was... This one actually owns Milwaukee, the Sawzall that I was using to cut that pig's leg in half. So
and again, I have some friends whose kids, after college went to work in their retail management, program management stuff, and they love working for the company. I hear nothing but good things. And you said looks like they're Chinese owned now.
Yeah, Hong Kong based, and
which means they probably were a U.S. company based out of Milwaukee, because I know his kid was living there for a while, and then they probably moved him, right? So
there's a big one. They own Milwaukee, Rigid, Hoover, Homelight, Oric, Empire, Dirt Devil, Roybe. I mean, that's a giant piece.
Yeah, but take a look at this, Bob. 112 again. 112 was the peak in September. Touched it again at the end of the year, and now down to 71 today, trading 84. Back into balance. You know what to do.
Might be a dark side availability here.
I'm just saying it's shaping up really nicely here. 85 to 112 again. 112 calls or sell stock outright. There's a lot of ways to do it here, but I think you can collect some premium moving forward. Just watching this, they just had earnings. I'm sure that's let's see what they were. They were, better than the estimate by 2 cents, 6.8 billion. A surprise there by 78 million. But again, is that going to be creeping up? No.
Yeah, going forward.
Because guess what? Like, to your point, the guy's going to, use his old saw for a while because he can, and he's got to put gas, and that new saw costs as much as half a tank of gas just to reload that. Think about that. It's crazy.
It is crazy. All right, man, let's talk a little hoops. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we?
Let's do
Let me
it.
share the screen so we can see it in living Technicolor. Sweet 16, Matt. HFR still has 4 Catholic schools available for all Catholic Final Four, and they are equally distributed, importantly, in the brackets. My problem with it is that St. Peter's, who looks great, by the way, who looks great. I mean, my problem is I'm not sure they can string these awesome games together, but they got some guys. I mean, I don't know where they recruited from, but I don't think it was Brooklyn, as it's Jersey City, St. Pete's. But they got some athletes, and they can. I'm especially impressed at their defense, man. Blocking shots, and running and gunning, man. It's a great little thing to watch. They got Purdue. We got Providence against Kansas. Filthanova against your Michigan Wolverines, and then Gonzaga.
And the women Wolverines have the Villanova Wildcat girls next also. So. I'm not sure if Leah is going to come over and play from UPenn since she's in the area, but she might step up and play for the girls.
But a lot of chatter on that whole front. We don't even need to get into that.
I know, it's just funny how we started talking about it.
Yeah, we were talking about a month ago,
like a year ago, and now everybody
ridiculousness.
Now it's over.
It's over. It's over. All right. So,
but
Matt,
but you should put up the graphic I sent you over the weekend. How last year she was 462nd in the men's NCAA.
Well, I mean, I think the important
and this year she's first in the women's.
Yeah.
And that but you know what that means, Bob? That means there are 461 other males that can come over and kick his ass. Just saying, if you want to win, if you're one of those 461, put on, just say you're a chick and start racing against him.
Matt, you still like your chances with Michigan? Look good, man. They look good.
They made the comeback. I'm gonna show up. It's funny, when I did the charts last week. This is my actual submitted bracket. Of course, I went the homer. I didn't really pick Iowa. I did that on the show last week, and because you put me on the spot. But here's what I have. I still have Arizona. I think I have 10 of the Sweet 16s. I made it into there. So that's pretty, I think, that's pretty good. I always think, for predicting it, especially, I got Texas Tech, Duke, I got Arkansas, I got those two right. I got Arizona. I actually picked your Chief Illini, but they just sucked. I knew I should have picked Houston. I just didn't. So I almost had this whole top right bracket, right? The Sweet 16 is almost completely right. The bottom side, I was not so good. Baylor got knocked out. Iowa got knocked out. Wisconsin sucked ass. I did not have Miami, so I totally I got nothing there. I got Kansas, I got UCLA, and I have Purdue, and so I don't have anybody making it to this side of the Final Four. I'm done. I'm X'd on that side.
Yeah. Let's move on.
But I do have the final game still, Gonzaga, Michigan. So
that's a possibility.
Oh.
All right, Matt. I want to share one other thing here. Mondays are usually a short segment for us, but let me share this. You shared this in the network. I wasn't following this guy, but you shared it, and I immediately loved some of his timeline. Michael Harris.
Great. Yeah, Michael Harris is a great guy.
Michael Harris. I love the Bloomberg one. Michael Bloomberg has 6 planes, 3 helicopters, 11 houses, and 42 cars. He thinks you should use public transportation to save the environment. How about no, Mike? How about Mike? You get a little grasp of reality. And the other one that I like that you shared here was this one. Bringing it up.
Yep.
My list of top 10 predictions for 2022. I mean, what I love about it is, first of all, it's a bell curve, right? There's standard deviation analysis. Both of our trading methodologies, by the way,
Yes.
are fairly standard deviation centric. Like
Yeah.
even profile, the theory is that it distributes in a bell curve.
Yeah.
Right. And
Everything
so
everything reverts. It's just on what
everything
time.
reverts, and the only way you get a bell curve is to actually expose that 1 and 2% area on each end.
Mhm.
It's just incredible now how hard it is to be predictive in this environment. I mean, nothing makes sense that you thought would make sense. Like the go-to analysis is like, yeah, okay, good luck with that.
Right.
Anyway, I love seeing it because let's talk. You talk to bonds, bring up the oil, because again, bonds down, oil up, and the stock market screams. For me, it just means I am staying way tighter to the vest and trading shorter term. There's just plenty of momentum, shorter term models to take advantage, and to tell me, or for me to say to you with any conviction where this thing is going to be next week, I have no idea. Not only that, it could be at either wing. Wheat limit up again. Lee is saying, thank you, Lee. It's like, too many moving parts.
Let's look at wheat, because that's always, like you said, it's violent, and whatever is happening in Ukraine and Russia seems to be driving that again today.
Again, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, Matt. The timeline here on, it's going to start to get affected. You got to be able to get in these fields. And I don't think farmers are taking to the fields if there's bullets and drones.
Well, and all the video I see is farmers pulling tanks. So I don't know what that means. I mean, seriously, they're John Deere.
You know when John Deere says,
there's like a whole channel.
I know, I'm familiar
of those just being pulled. So, I mean, look at wheat, dipped down to 1030. Now it's back to 1137, up 7% here. Again, thanks, Lee. Corn up 3% almost today. And again, just chopping. But look at these violent moves, like wham, 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 up and down, like ping pong paddles just being banged around. And this profile is in control until it isn't, right? And feels.
I mean, the amazing thing there, Matt, is dollar wise. Like if you're trading this, the amount of risk in that profile, it's unreal.
Yeah, because this is 760 down to 730, and we've been in that now for the better part of 2 weeks. And what's that? It's 30-40 cents, which is 5-6%. That's a 5% rally. So one contract is running you what, $3,000 or so? Is that right? 50 times, no more, probably $50 a contract times 30 full dollars. What's
it's 1,500.
1,500. It's pretty wide. Some pretty wide risk. And again, bonds making a new low here again, Bob. This is the story of the day for me. Like, this is telling me that interest rates are going higher, and without the Fed doing anything, who cares what he said? This has already been happening. We've been talking about it, and interest rates again. And if you don't think this is going to affect people's bottom line, I'm not saying there's a lot of adjustable mortgages. We're not talking about that kind of game. It's not the same game as last time. I understand, but prices the way they are so high, interest rates making another new high here, 20, what are we, almost 2.3, right? 2.275. So that's the 10-year. This is violence. I mean, I don't care what you say. If we've gone from here, 11, which was the recent low, and then before that, this was the COVID low at 0. I mean, this is huge, and this is way out ahead of the COVID numbers, right? We're ahead of that. So interest rates are going higher. We've talked about this, and this is now over the 61.8. And that could lead right back to the 3.5 range. 3.2 was the high that we saw back in November of 18 was when that was. So there's no reason we can't go back there, Bob. And guess what? That gas, higher interest rates, you don't think housing is going to have a hard time moving this spring and summer? The momentum is the momentum to price isn't with you anymore. Again, it's an anti-momentum market again. It's funny that realtors don't understand that things cycle, even though we've been in a crazy 13-year, 14-year cycle of real estate. That's not normal. You've been helped by fake wins at your back, and eventually, you got to pay the piper, I think.
Yeah, and you have that same thought process. We have that same thought process along the line. Again, I just saw that old video of me and the power tool, and it spurs that type of conversation. Like, who's buying a new Milwaukee if they just, ad nauseum, and so many things are going to be affected by this down the road.
Yeah, or are they going to redo their yard this year because that extra $2,000 isn't around because you got to feed the gas tank? You can't buy peat moss and wood chips to redo this year. So maybe we should be looking at the wood
top
chip.
of California making all commercial landscapers go all electric here.
Right.
It's the only thing that's going to save the power tool market. Husqvarna. All right, Matt. Quick one today, but always enjoyable. And we'll be back tomorrow. Please share, retweet, plagiarize the broadcast far and wide. Please join us at marketvitals.io. And Matt, be disciplined, trade discipline. That's what we say all the time.
Okay, Bob. Peace out.
Remember, risk is real, and nothing that we say is a call to action for you personally. There are calls to action. I was supposed to bring the risk in on the end, but sometimes you evaluate the risk after post establishment. Not a great idea, but sometimes that happens. Thank you, Lee.
All right, Bobby.